Avoid interruptions. Filter informations. Sometimes interruptions are welcome, but everyone needs to work undisturbed at certain times. Make your working day as productive as possible by discouraging interruptions by colleagues, and reorganizing your office so that you are less available during work of peak concentrations. List your regular interruptions. To reduce the number of unnecessary work interruptions you receive, first draw up a list. This might be in your list of tasks as well. Things which may interrupt at any time, such as important customers, etc. Things which may interrupt you when you are not particularly busy, such as colleagues. Things who may not interrupt you at all. Keep these lists in mind. Remember them to organize your work around it as much as possible. Reorganize your workspace. You are especially prone to disturbances if you are in the way for passers-by. Position your desk so that you can see who is approaching the door. Even if you work in an open-plan office, you can minimize interruptions by making changes to the layout of your workspace, repositioning your desk and workstation. Once you make these small changes, you are less likely to be disturbed unnecessarily. Discard any information that you think you do not need. Most people receive hundreds of different pieces of information every working day, and processing them takes up a large amount of time. Take time to work out a systematic way of handling all the incoming information that ends up in your work stack. Keep all your chance meetings short by standing. It will then be easier to excuse yourself if required. Gain information. Information comes to you in increasingly diverse forms, including these. It may come on paper or soft copy format like posts, memos, magazines, newspapers, reports, emails, intranet posts, or by voice, like in meeting recordings or telephone applications, etc. Remember that some forms of information appear to be more urgent than others, but this may not be a true reflection of their importance. For example, phone calls often takes a precedence over post because they are more immediate. Process all information. Try to establish a routine for processing the information. For example, you may know that the external communications and posts come at 10 a.m., and the internal messages are distributed at around 11 a.m. Then set aside a time just before lunch for sorting through your mails and clearing them. Read or scan through your mails at the same time. Skim through the rest, and gradually, it will become easier to manage your inboxes. If a message requires action, a note should be made and added to your master list. Once you have dealt with them, sort and archive them accordingly. Remember to copy the informations on email only to those who need to know. This will save you any hassle with marking it unnecessarily. Also, stop subscriptions to things you no longer read. Once you have acted on an email message, add it to your archives or delete if unimportant and not necessary for future reference. You should try to clear mail communications that are outdated and irrelevant each time you dip into them. This will simplify your life. Even on your desk, keep only essential readings. Delegate your work. Organize your work in such a way that you have the help to filter your things for you. The person to whom you delegate this responsibility should be able to sift through and distribute them in your team, if you have them, in your absence. Explain to them which matters can be handled at once, and which are to be saved for your return. The relevance of information changes with time. Some people believe that what is useless today might be useful at a later date and consequently tend to hoard too many information. Remember that it takes time and space to process these information, so carefully consider the relevance of reference materials before archiving them away.